channel. This is the 7th video tutorial in the Python series, and in this video I'll be telling you about the collections in Python. And in the collections I'll cover the one topic, that is lists. So we need to know that there are 4 different types of collections. The first one is list, then comes tuple or tuple, and then we have sets, and then we have dictionary. So let us understand what is list. List is a collection in Python which is changeable and ordered. Now you won't understand it, but the basic syntax to make a list is write the list name and then open the bracket, then enter the elements which you want to enter. Then when you enter one element, then use a comma, then write the second element, then you can use comma to separate them, and then write the third element. Okay, this is the way in which we create lists. Let me copy this. Now we'll use a terminal and show that. For that, write Python 3. Here I have created a list 1, that is Jake, Amy and Rosa, and now I'll print that list 1. Here you see that the 3 elements in the list 1 are Jake, Amy and Rosa. Now in case you want to print only a particular element in the list, here for example I need to print Amy, then what I'll do is I'll see the index of Amy, and we all know that indexing starts from 0, so Jake equal to 0, Amy equal to 1 and Rosa equal to 2. So in a similar way I'll write the list name and then the index name. So when I do that, I have Amy as the output, which is the first index in the list 1, or the element there. Now in case if I want to replace any of these elements with some other elements, then what I'll do is I'll access that element by using their index. For example, here I want to replace Rosa with Captain. Then here I'll first find the index of Rosa, 0, 1, 2. So write list 1 of 2 equal to Captain. And when I do that, I'll print the list 1 now. Here you see that there is no Rosa, but instead Captain has replaced Rosa. So whenever we write the list name and then the list name of the particular index and assign it with some other thing, then that replaces the particular index value in the list. Now we'll see how we can print all the elements in the list. Here I'm taking list 1 as Jake, Amy and Rosa, and now I want to print all the elements. So for printing all the elements, I'll be using loops. You might not know much about loops right now, but you can understand one thing, that in loops we can do a particular action many times until the condition is fulfilled. For example, here the way in which we write the for loop is, we'll write first for and then any variable x, and then I'll write in list 1 use colon, and remember to use tab when you enter the next line, because you should take care of indentation in Python. And when you use for loop, you need to insert a tab, and then you can execute the next statements. So basically what this for loop tells is that for x in list 1, that is x any variable in list 1, until you have x in list 1, go on printing x. So first it will refer to Jake, it will print Jake, then Amy, and then Rosa it will print here. So let's save this. Okay, now I'll write this and Python 7.py. Here you have seen that by using for loops we have printed the 3 elements, that is Jake, Amy and Rosa. So this is the way in which we print all the elements in the loop. Now once again we will enter this. Now for example, you want to check whether a particular element is there in the list or not. So I'll use this list once again, and I have created a list 1 equal to Jake, Amy and Rosa here. I'll press enter, and otherwise it's better I'll write it here. We have printed all the elements. Okay, now what I'll do is I need to check if Amy is there in list 1. So I'll write if Amy in list 1. Then once again, whenever you use if statements, you need to take care that you need to use the tabs for writing the next statements. Print yes, it is true. Okay, so if our list has Amy in it, then it will print that it is true. So now let's check that. 7.py. Okay, first it has printed all the elements, and since Amy is there in a list, it prints true. So you have to use this syntax, that is the total. You have to specify the element name or write the string in it, and if you want if that string is there in list 1, print yes, it is true. Or you can use the else statements too, but I'll be telling about if else in the later videos. So this is the way in which we can check whether a particular element is there in the list. Now we'll enter this Python 3. Okay, I'll take this list as okay, Python 3. Okay, this is the list 1 which I have created here. Now enter it, and now I want to find the length of our list. So what I'll do is print length of list 1. Okay. Here we have 3 elements in our list, so it is printing 3, but it won't count the characters in the list, so take care of this. The number of elements in the list will be given as the length of the list. So when you want to know the length, then just use the length function, that is length of list name. It will give you the output. Now just imagine that you want to insert some other element in the list at a particular position. For example, here in this list, I want to insert Brooklyn 99 at the position 0 because indexing starts from 0. So in that case, I'll use the insert function. So for that, you need to write list1 dot insert. It takes 2 parameters. First, write the position where you want to insert 0, and I want to insert Brooklyn 99 in that. Okay, so now I'll print list1. So now you see that once I have inserted at 0 position, we have inserted Brooklyn 99, and then the list continues as it is. And suppose I want to append anything else or any other element in this list, then it will always be appended at last. It is the syntax for that is list name dot append. Here I'm appending captain, Holt, or captain, anything. Okay, now let's print the list 1. Here we see that once we append captain, the captain will be the last element in the list. So this is how the append function works. Now just imagine that you want to remove any of these elements in the list. So for that, you can use this function, name of list dot remove, open bracket, and then type what you want to remove. Here I want to remove captain. Now let's check the list. So once you remove captain, you'll find that there is no captain in this list. And you can also delete any particular element by just using the pop function, like list1 dot pop but you need to, and in this function you need to pass the index which you want to remove. For example, here I'm removing Brooklyn 99, so, or I'll remove Rosa. Then what I'll have is, here the index of Rosa is 0 1 2 3. 3 is this Rosa, so I'll write 3. So it has been popped. Let's write list 1. So now list 1 we have Brooklyn 99, Jake and Amy. So the ways in which we can remove elements are using remove and then pop. And when we want to append certain things or elements, we can use insert and append. Now we'll create another list. List 2 equal to, friends. I'll write this. Then Rachel. Then okay, this is the second list which I have created, and I want to insert I want to insert all the elements of this list 1 into list 2. Then I can use the extend function. Write the name of the list to which you need to extend, that is list 2, and then I'll write dot extend, and in this extend function write the name of the list of the name of the list whose elements you want to insert in list 2. So now print it list 2. Now we'll find that friends, Rachel, Ross, Brooklyn 99, Jake, Amy, and all those things have got inserted and they have become a single list. So this is the way in which you can merge two lists into one. There is one other way in which you can create list. For that, first write the list name and then type the keyword list, open the brackets, and then I'm creating list like 1 4 3 5 7. I'm creating this list and I'll write here 2. Now close the brackets. So when you do this, you'll see that a list 3 has been created. Okay, we need to take care that we include 2 brackets because the list takes only one argument, and all the elements in the second brackets are the elements of the list. So we need to take care that we are using 2 brackets to make a list. Now press enter. Now you can print the list 3 and you'll see that a list has been created and it contains the same elements which we have passed. Now suppose we want to sort all the elements in this list. So what we can do is, in a similar way, type the list name list 3 and then use dot sort function. When you use this, you'll see that the list will be sorted. Now print list 3. You'll see that here the elements were not in ascending order, but when you use the sort function, all the elements have been rearranged, and the elements you'll find here that they are in ascending order. So this is the way in which you can sort the list. And suppose you want to clear your list. For example, I want to clear my list 3. I'll write list 3 dot clear, then press enter. Now write list 3. You'll see that you have empty brackets. That means that the list is empty. And now in case you want to delete the entire list, then what you can do is you can write delete list 3. Okay, now we'll try to print the list 3 and see what we'll get. Here what we find is list 3 is not defined, which means that list 3 doesn't exist anymore. So these are some of the functions and some of the methods which we can use to interact with the list. And so in this tutorial we learned how we can find the length of the list, how we can create list, how we can insert elements at a particular position, how we can append a particular element in a list, and how we can remove a particular element, how we can pop them, and how we can extend the list, and all those things and so on. So that's it for this tutorial. Thank you for watching this video and hope to see you in the next video. Thank you.